comes to investing in the businesses, there are two different types of economies that exist today. Linear economy is about taking the resources either from the nature or from somewhere else. You extract those resources, you produce your products, and then those products are distributed to the customers. Those products are consumed, and then there's the waste consumption at the end. So in this whole process, there is a huge amount of waste production, and also there is a loss in the resource extraction. And then there's another economy that has recently been introduced and is rapidly advancing in today's world, circular economy. In circular economy, the concept is that we put the waste or we utilize the resources in a way that we either save it or we put it back into the chain. So if you look at economics today, the population is growing and there is a rising consumption per capita. And this population growth is actually leading us to produce more products, and those higher production of products is leading us to the depletion of the natural resources. So this is the concept of the circular economy, utilizing the waste, putting that thing back into the chain to produce the product that we need. Because what we need at the end is a product. Doesn't matter if we are getting it from the natural resources or we are getting it from utilizing the waste. One of the things I would like to share with you regarding to the Circular Economy Asia. Circular Economy Asia is actually a platform based in Malaysia that is doing quite a lot of work on that. They say that in the circular business, when we look at the business, we have to see if that business is circular economy ready or not. It's not just about we have a business and we adopt the sustainability and we go into the financial loss. It's not about that. So we have to look at the 6 different steps, including the company stakeholder review. According to one of the reports that was given out by the Asian Development Bank, they forecasted that by 2050, there are 7 countries that will hold the 45% of the world's GDP. So that's why when we said that we introduced ourselves as the Asian Youth-Driven Leadership Platform, that's one of the core reasons we are targeting the Asian region. Even the waste production in this region is majority of the waste production is in the Asian region. You know, you might have heard that the plastic waste production, for example, is 8 million tons. And about 60% of that is from the Asia. Currently, we have to embrace the technologies like nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology. These are the technologies that are going to drive the circular economy. But when this circular economy is integrated with the smart technologies like the Internet of Things, robotics, virtual reality, and all those smart technologies, that's why the combination of that circular economy is fueled by the smart technologies. We call it the smart circular economy. So STEAM platform, our platform, we have 3 core elements, and we call that pillars of STEAM platform. One of them is knowledge convergence, skills and mindset, and the entrepreneurship for the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. We call ourselves, we have our 2 flagships, which is the Industry 4.0 and the circular economy. So we are the dynamically and globally evolving platform, but our 3 pillars are actually integrated with the 3 key areas, which is food, materials, and energy. We believe that the convergence of knowledge is very important to achieve a certain goal. One quick example I would like to put together here is called the KMUTT Smart and Sustainable Agriculture 4.0. So this concept this is a farm where you have the crops grown, where there are some roads, and then we have some smart technologies to enable that agriculture 4.0. We feel happy that we've been able to transfer those skills of the knowledge convergence to these young students. And one of the scenario that the whole class created, we call it the Smart and Sustainable Village. This is basically a village which is on the seaside. So this is not just a scenario. I just want to make sure that this is a village, a sustainable village, which is on the seaside. In the seaside, we have the seaweed, we have the crab shell, which is used to make different products. So we had like 9 different groups, and those 9 groups presented their 9 patented technologies. But at the beginning, there are different technologies split up. But we put it together in the form of the scenario like this, and then we convey the message. So when we talk about skills and mindset, we do provide the leadership training, because we heard 2 keywords: science, communication, critical thinking, problem solving. So these are the things that have to be addressed, not just teaching technologies and bringing things out. So at a STEAM platform, we uniquely provide internship programs to these young students to learn the Industry 4.0 and the circular economy through the strategy, communication skills, and other critical mindset thinking. So we have, in particular, we have critical thinking, life cycle thinking, sustainability, communication, knowledge convergence, and all those skills and mindset that is needed by the youth in today's world.
So we converge all different expertise from the university to actually talk about circular economy, Industry 4.0. Now we have also speakers from UN to share with us SDGs. Yeah, we engage a lot of young speakers as well, youth. So STEAM is about youth, right? So it's peer-to-peer. So that peer-to-peer, they do mentoring. He talk about circular economy, and she will mentor the business model. And based on her experience, she has a lot of experience on the ground in social enterprises as well.
Sustainability, we need to think not waste as a waste, but waste as a resource. So if you look at the waste of the sugarcane, which is bagasse, it could be used for several different purposes, and we can get really amazing products out of it. So I'll show you, there's a waste production, there's wastewater. That waste, bagasse, could be fermented to produce ethanol. That ethanol can further be used for the for driving our vehicles, for example. That bagasse could be anaerobically digested to produce biogas. It could be burned to produce heat and electricity. So these are all the things that we are getting from the waste. So when we talk about science communication, we are actually talking about thinking and talking differently. When it comes to entrepreneurship, people think about the business model. So this is the current business model that people talk about today. So business model contains value proposition. It has some partners, key resources, revenue, customer segment. This is the general business model that is being taught for over the years, past many years. But the thing is, when we talk about sustainability and circular economy, this business model cannot be implemented in the real world. If you really want to drive, or if you want to see a sustainable world, if you want to see or you want to realize that circular economy in reality, if you want to see that. So there's a different business model that Lerwen will expand more on that later. So in general, when we talk about entrepreneurship, we teach our students on sustainable business model, and we ask them to look at the whole value chain, looking at different aspects, including capabilities. And I showed you how we do the capability mapping, how we find out the innovations, how we do the market research, technology analysis, all the competitive analysis that we teach our students on to make sure that the businesses that they're going to create is competitive in the market, and it's also sustainable.
How do we connect production process to circular economy? Because we looked at the circular economy earlier. You have production is very critical, and we look at the production processes. And how do we relate that to circular economy and SDGs? Any product produced today requires natural resources, human resources. Agree? Yeah. Right, you. Then any product consumed results in waste. Now, how do we do with it? And delivering product to consumer will require resources as well, right? Your transportation, infrastructure, vehicles, people, etc. There are different business models today. For example, I came here by Grab. I don't have a car. I share a car. And versus somebody drive by themselves, you own a car. Ownership versus sharing economy. And distributed and centralized model. Now, generating energy, for example, you can build a solar farm if you have a lot of money. Or you have sort of panels on your rooftop, distributed. Ultimately, you've got to create social and environmental impact versus only economic impact. Today's business school will tell you primarily, let's just, you have to survive your business first, economic, profit. But I think we need a different mindset there. Now, the business model design guided by sustainability principle, the three pillars, in social, environmental, economic, or the three Ps, planet, people, and profit, will address two things. The needs, we all need to survive, we eat, we use stuff, we go places. Energy, right, the three things. Or you solve a problem. Problem of the environment, problem of the pollution, and then that leads to production consumption. You have a product, then you have the production consumption right there. That I link back to that SDG number 12. And so when I link production and consumption, I call it making it personal, making SDG personal, making circular economy personal, because we are a consumer. So every time when we consume something, we are making an impact personally. We all can make a difference if we could be a responsible consumer at the same time.
The problem is food shortage is the seriously problem facing the world now. Population is increasing, but rice farmers are decreasing. So it means that people need more rice consumption. Many areas in ASEAN region, farmers see sowing by their hand. The problem is they are waste rices, and when the rice go up, it wastes more fertilizer. And then it's less yield and time consuming. My solution is use drone technology to solve this problem. I design a prototype drone and program it to make it can automation and put a feature that drone can record a data and sync data to IoT. Then I design a shooter. My shooter is to release a capsule. In my capsule, I put a light seed and soil into a capsule and shoot down from the drone. The advantage of uniform spacing is it's easy to cultivate. It uses less fertilizer, better production and growth. This is my business model. Capture the entire value chain. Now I'm studying at FIBO. I will partner with FIBO to make agriculture drone and develop it. Connect with SDGs is improve life of farmers is my goal.
So in the short term, to actually capture the whole value chain in the short term, it will take time. Yeah, and FIBO, by the way, is the largest robotic institute in Thailand, and it specializes in agriculture. And now, in order to fully implement the sustainable development fully, to make everything in Thailand and empower the farmers to train the next generation of smart farmers, that takes time. And this is not going to happen based on private support. You need a strong public-private partnership. And so we will work with the government to develop programs to actually make this happen. You've got to have government to commit to build the value chain, to build the supply chains and build an ecosystem to support that. That's how you reach sustainable development goals. One of the innovations that developed in by our scientists on converting cassava waste, pulp and peel, to ethanol.
Yeah, let's move on to the business model. We have like the different business model. For the first one, we create the value chain of the cassava. First, we farm cassava farming. That is the normal process, right? And then we go to the cassava processing, that we got the starch from the cassava. But our business model, we use the cassava waste to produce the ethanol. So we have the first business model is centralized. The centralized model is like when the cassava processing factory is nearby. So we need to centralize our cassava waste processing, and then we buy from that factory, and then we process the ethanol to get the bioethanol. Not just only the bioethanol that we got like the byproducts about it is biogas. So we can reuse the biogas into our reactor of the cassava processing. Then the leftover we will use as a fertilizer to go back to the cassava farming at close the loop of the circular economy. Not just only that, we still get like the waste of yeast. So we produce the excess yeast to be an animal feed. Another one is localized model. The difference is just the area of the cassava factory. There is long long way of the cassava factory. So we need to localize our reactor with the cassava factory.
We believe that the STEAM platform is going to keep transforming the Asian youth leaders towards circular economy, coupled with the Industry 4.0 called Asian Youth Leaders towards smart circular economy. But we do believe in co-creating the solutions by extending partnerships with other global partners. Finally, I would say that when you think of circular economy, you think of Industry 4.0, think of youth leadership, you think STEAM. Thank you very much.